Now, back to the phone lines. Mike Carty, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
Nice to talk to you, Mike, because we
You
were
too.
in Bunnyconlon on Monday, and right across from where we were broadcasting, we saw your team with two very impressive bikes. They were almost like Garda bikes or emergency bikes. They had their livery on them, and they looked absolutely fantastic. But these bikes do a very serious job. Now, I know they also do it on a voluntary basis, because I spoke to some of your volunteers on Monday, and we were finding out more information about the impressive work that you do. So you're the founder and treasurer of Blood Bike West. What is Blood Bike West, Mike Carty?
I'll tell you what Blood Bike West is, Jerry. Now, it's a group of motorcyclists, and what we like to do is ride motorcycles, and we've kind of married that with doing some good for the community. So what we do is we go on call at 7 o'clock every evening from 7 o'clock till 7 o'clock in the morning, and if any of the hospitals in our catchment area want anything moved that will fit on a motorcycle, we'll hop on our motorcycle and do that.
So you're
and hopefully that will save them money that they can put into frontline services, and also then we'll ultimately save lives.
So you transfer more than blood around the region?
Yeah, blood. It came from an idea in the UK, and they're predominantly called blood bikes in the UK. But we will carry anything that will fit in the bike. I mean, we carry anything from patient scans, MRIs, patient files, drugs, blood products. And increasingly what we carry a lot of is donated breast milk for premature babies, which there's no logistical way of getting that around the country, and we do that at night for them.
Wow. So you say Blood Bike West. Does that essentially mean at the moment you cover Connacht? Yes,
we do, pretty much. We're predominantly based in Galway, but we cover the hospitals in the Galway regional area, which would be UHG in Galway, Merlin Park. We've covered two private hospitals, Portiuncula, Castlebar, Roscommon.
How long have you been in existence, Mike?
We're going into our fourth year now at the minute, and all came from an idea watching it on TV. The blood bikes have been in the UK since the 1960s, and myself and a couple of other friends that like to ride motorcycles got together in an office in Galway one night, floated the idea, asked the people in the UK to come over and help us set it up. Spoke to the hospitals, who were a little sceptical at the start because they don't get an awful lot of people doing stuff for free for them, you know.
That was going to be my next question. How did hospitals react when they saw these fellas landing into them and saying, by the way, fellas, we'll transport anything you want on our bikes for you?
Yeah, well, obviously they were incredibly sceptical, and we had a lot of meetings with them, and Noel Grealish, our local TD here, did a lot of great work with us in getting a bit of credibility with them. But I mean, once we're able to show them that our riders are all trained to the highest standards, we're tested by ROSPA and the guards in Templemore have a look at us and make sure we're competent on the bikes. And you mentioned Garda bikes; our bikes are very similar to the Garda bikes. So you have to be at a very high standard to be able to ride our bikes.
Absolutely. How many bikes do you have?
We currently have 3 bikes. They're all named after people we've helped, and we actually have a van as well that has been donated by Northgate Vehicle Hire, and that van then is for, in the winter, stormy conditions. We hate to turn down a call, so we'll always do the call, and we'll bring the Northgate van then in the winter.
Did you buy your bikes from brand new for this job?
No, we bought the bikes brand new. We couldn't afford it, I'll be honest with you. Our bikes they're fairly new. We have a 07, a 08 and a 9. Now they're Hondas, they're bulletproof. They never let us down.
They look absolutely fantastic, because I did see them up close and personal on Monday. If you were to buy new ones, Mike, what kind of money would they set you back?
They'll be in excess of €10,000. The bikes we have, we gave ourselves a budget of around 5,000. But buying the bike is the one part of the cost. Then we have to convert a road-going bike into a blood bike, and we've got to make certain adjustments to it to make it capable to do what we want it to do. Do your bikes have emergency status? They don't have emergency status, right? We do carry flashing lights. We only use them in emergency cases. Now, the only cases we only do urgent and emergency. We don't do non-urgent. So we only authorise lights, and we use green lights rather than blue. So we only authorise. You're like Weststock, so then. Yeah, exactly. We only use the lights where the hospital deem it to be an emergency. But to be quite honest with you, if we're moving something to Dublin on an emergency basis, the lights only really help us get out of Galway City. Once you get on the motorway, we still do 120k like everybody else. You won't actually make that much time on the motorway. Where we make our time over a car or anything else is in the traffic. Squiggling in and out through traffic in a city. Exactly. Yeah. We call it filtering. But at the start of the journey and at the end of the journey, that's where we have the huge advantage over a car.
I suppose, Mike, on hindsight, filtering is a much cooler word than squiggling, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Mike, are you exempt from the speed limit in emergency
No,
situations?
we're not. We're not exempt from. We can't break red lights. We can't break single white lines, and we can't break the speed limit. But to be honest, we don't need to, because once you can get out of Galway in less than 10 minutes by working your way through the traffic, you really don't need to speed.
How many volunteers do you have at the minute?
Currently, we have somewhere in the region of 20 guys on the bikes, and we use about 12 guys per month. Everybody takes a shift. I'm actually on this weekend. I go on call on Friday evening at 7 o'clock, and I stay on call for 24 hours all the way through to Monday morning at 7 a.m. So we also, probably one of the more important jobs is what we call a controller. So we've got two people on every night. The controller takes the call from the hospital and then manages the whole thing. We do a lot of link-ups because since we started in Galway, we were the first in Galway. We've inspired other groups around the country, and like anything we would have going to Dublin, if it's an urgent, not an emergency case, the Dublin bike will come to Kilbeggan and we'll swap over in Kilbeggan.
I see what you mean.
What that does for us, like it used to be a 5-hour turnaround for us to bring something to Dublin and then get the bike back. Now we can we turn around in 2 hours.
So I figured the hope would be that down the line, and maybe pretty soon down the line, this will become a national organisation.
Well, it pretty much nearly is at the minute, to be honest. Currently, since we started 4 years ago, there's now 2 blood bikes in Donegal. There's 2 in Limerick, 2 in Cork. There's about 5 or 6 in Dublin. There's another 3 in the Leinster area. And there's blood bikes in the northeast area as well. So the only part of the country that's really not serviced by blood bikes at the minute will be the southwest. Southeast.
And we want to talk about County Mayo before I wrap this up as well. But Mike, you talk about the volunteer. So a volunteer goes on duty, goes on call for, did you say a 24-hour period?
Yeah, no, our first shift is Monday and Tuesday night. So a volunteer goes on from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. on Monday night and Tuesday night.
Right.
And then he's done. And then the next volunteer goes on from the same 7
p.m. So it's every 2
on
nights.
Wednesday and Thursday, and then we have a weekend rider.
And this person is on call. The dispatcher will make contact with them. Is it by phone or by bleep, or can it be by both?
By phone.
By phone, okay.
By phone.
So they make contact with them and they say, look, for example, Tom, Galway University Hospital have been on here. There's a dire situation at Roscommon County Hospital. They need X number of units of blood and they need it now. Is that essentially how it breaks down?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. But like the majority of the blood that we would carry actually is blood for testing. So if somebody's about to go in for an operation, they need the blood cross-matched. Probably needs to go to St. James's where the IVTS is, and they need that blood rushed to Dublin. So,
your bikes sorry for crossing you, but I just want to say that your bikes are specially equipped, in case people are wondering, because I saw that they have specially refrigerated pouches on them. That
we have, we carry what's called blood porters. They're a special box. They're UN certified. They'll keep blood at a certain temperature for like 48 hours in this box, and it's not plugged into anything. So incredibly well insulated. Apparently it works even in hot countries where we don't have that problem here. But most of the blood actually we would bring for testing doesn't actually need to be temperature controlled. We just need to get it there quickly so that it can be analysed.
And your people who work with you, completely voluntary?
Absolutely, 100% voluntary. We do it all out of our spare time and goodness of our heart.
So, having said all of that, there are still a sizable amount of costs incurred. Roughly, what's it costing to run Blood Bike West on an annual basis, Mike?
It's costing over €30,000 a year to run us. Oh,
that's still tight enough, in fairness to you, considering the work you do.
Yeah, we do a lot of fundraising. In fairness, we do. We've had some incredible people come help us. We had a guy in Galway, Dave Greeley, this year came on and organised a white collar boxing event in the Ardlawn. A huge success for us. The local fire brigade in Galway nominated us as one of their charities for their fireman's calendar this year, which was fantastic as well. And we do our regular bucket collections, and we do like bingo nights and all sorts of things, events that we'd run throughout the year. Supermax came on board this year as well, and they ran a bike event in the plaza, the new plaza on the N6. So all those things helped us.
I figure as well that if somebody benefits, if an individual or a family benefit from the type of work that you do, then they become hooked for life, and they try very hard to help you out in any way they can as well.
They do, absolutely. And our best example is our secretary, Vincent. from Clifton, and his little girl was quite ill,
right.
and one of the first runs we did on the new bike was to bring blood for her up to Dublin for analysing, and we named the bike after her. Vincent got involved. He's now our secretary, and he rides the bike himself.
Fantastic. Mike, your team were in Ballyconlon on Monday, and one of the reasons they were there were creating awareness, which they did a powerful job on, might I say, hence the reason that you are here with me this morning.
Thank you very much.
But the plan is to try and get one of those bikes based in County Mayo. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, that is the plan. Like, we do service Castlebar, but it's quite difficult to service Castlebar from Galway. Now, we've got a couple of riders who are based in Clifton, so they can work... do the Castlebar stuff, but to give Castlebar a service whereby the service we give UHG is we will be there within 45 minutes of a call.
Yes.
That's difficult from Galway to get to Castlebar for that.
Sure, yeah.
So, and we've had interest from people in the Castlebar area, and so that's ultimately we're going to try and set up like call it a splinter group that will operate in the Castlebar area. Castlebar wouldn't obviously be as busy as Galway, but still, we would like to have the service there.
What would you hope to get out of this then? So, are you looking for people to volunteer? Are you looking
We're
for
looking,
a bike?
We're looking for people to volunteer, help with fundraising, and get a bike based in Mayo.
That's the plan.
That would be the ultimate plan. Now, if that takes 6 months, 12 months, we'll work with it and we'll make it happen.
Would you be also looking for volunteer bike riders?
Oh, absolutely. We're always looking for volunteer bike riders.
And what about a bike itself?
Yeah, we'll never say no to another bike.
You'd never say no to a good bike too if it came the way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's fantastic. The work you do is amazing. Again, if the call comes, are you a bit like the RNLI? Will you go out in all types of weather?
Oh, absolutely. And that's where Northgate came on board with the van last year, because logistically the winter was terrible for us, especially, the winters we have here. And even our biggest fear, wet's not such a big problem. You just put on the good gear and the bikes have heated grips and we keep ourselves as warm as possible. But it's the ice, and ice is the problem on a motorbike. So that's where we need four wheels.
Do you see? We
have that now.
You talk about the fact that it's blood, it's milk, it's other things that hospitals might need. For example, maybe X-rays or whatever it might be.
Pretty much, if it fits in a Ryanair case, we can bring it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So in that sense, if you'll pardon the pun, the sky's the limit.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right. Well, Mike.
Yeah. Well, we've bar huge pieces of medical equipment, but having said that, because we now have the van. If they have an emergency and it's a big piece of medical equipment, if it's in the middle of summer, we'll bring the van and we'll bring it. We've never turned a call down yet in 4 years.
Clearly, Mike, now that you're 4 years into this and you've done all the work that you've done, and the hospitals have seen firsthand the type of work you can do and the service and the benefit you are to them, that relationship between you and the hospitals that you're servicing must be getting stronger by the day.
Oh, we have a pretty good relationship, and we have everything. I mean, we have service level agreements signed with the hospitals we deal with, and our biggest issue is getting the word down to the people stuck on a ward. That they need something moved, because prior to us coming on board, they would have to get clearance to ring a taxi or ring some kind of a courier, because there's a cost involved. But those people don't need to get clearance now to ring us, because there's no sign-off, there's no invoice, there's no nothing. Just ring Blood Bike West and we'll be there in 40 minutes.
So you're saying to me that if there are patients within a hospital that need something of a medical nature moved or transferred or whatever it might be, they can just contact you directly in the hospital itself?
Well, no, I'm talking about the nurses.
Okay.
The nurses
Okay. All right. I have you. I just wanted to be clear on that.
Yeah,
okay. Yes. Okay.
Because a nurse sitting there, I need something moved, and then I've got to go and ring transport, and I've got to go and get this authorised, and it's going to cost €300 in a taxi or whatever it's going to cost.
Yeah.
And I have to wait for somebody to authorise that. Whereas now, all they do, ICU, just ring us. We're there. It's gone.
I'm half afraid to ask you the next question, but I'll ask anyway, considering the way the health service is and the way the money is. No money from government circles yet?
No, and we actually, the way we're set up, we don't want it.
Oh, wow, that's a big turnaround.
Yeah, if you go down that road, you're no longer a charity, in our minds. If we go down the road of looking for the hospitals to help with on our fundraising side, well, then we're not doing it for free.
Good man, Mike.
So we do this for free.
Well, again, you talk about, I know 30,000 is a lot of money, but considering the service you're providing, you are running a very tight ship. 30,000 is getting a heck of a lot of work done.
Oh, it is, yeah, because everybody does it for free, and that's the main thing around it. You know, like, I'll be quite honest with you, Jerry. If you give a guy who loves riding motorcycles a reason to ride a motorcycle,
he's off.
and help somebody he's gone.
They're gone. Mike, have you a website?
We have bloodbikewest.ie.
Bloodbikewest.ie. And do you also have a contact number if anybody out there would like to make contact with you? Is it the number?
Contact number's on the website. It's a mobile number. I can never remember mobile numbers.
That's all right. The number that I have here in front of me, I'm not going to give it out over the air, but if people ring us asking to speak to you, can we give that number to them privately?
You can, of course, yeah. You can give them my number, absolutely.
That's fine. Well, then that way, Mike, we're going to keep in touch with you because I think it's a fantastic service, and, you know, it's 4 years old, it's still fledgling, but I saw it firsthand, and I saw your team in action in Bunnyconlon on Monday, and I was mightily impressed by what you do.
They're a great bunch of people now, in all fairness.
Thanks for talking to me, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Jerry.
Good morning to you.
Thanks, bye-bye.
So that's Blood Bike West then, and you heard the man himself explain it there. Bloodbikewest.ie is the website, and if you feel like you'd like to help Mike or in any way encourage what they do, you can call Patrina and we'll happily pass on that number to you.